Killing Them Softly, 2012 film from director Andrew Dominik, based on a novel, Cogan's Trade, written by George V. Higgins. This one stars Brad Pitt, Ray Liotta, Richard Jenkins, Scoot McNairy, Ben Mendelsohn, and James Gandolfini. The story is a crime thriller that takes place in 2008, right as America is desperately trying to remedy the financial crisis that is engulfing it, and the presidential election between Obama and McCain is in full swing in the background. Two small-time criminals rob an illegal card game and frame the guy who's running it, but it becomes a problem for the larger criminal organization in the area because as a result of the robbery, they have to temporarily shut down all the other card games, which means they aren't earning money. So they hire Brad Pitt's character Jackie, a fixer, to find out what happened, punish those responsible, and restore order. So apparently the film received an incredibly mixed response when it first came out. Some people liked it, others thought it was cynical, offensive, and nasty. And I have to say I'm quite surprised by that because as much as I agree it is a very cynical movie, I can't say what's so offensive about it. And I have two things to say in its defense, in the defense of its cynicism. First, this is a film made by Andrew Dominik, and if you look across other movies from his filmography, The Assassination of Jesse James, Blonde, he seems to be quite fascinated with the deconstruction of the American dream, or its different facets. In Assassination of Jesse James, he dispels the myth of cowboys, outlaws, and romantic gunmen of the Old West. In Blonde, he deals with Marilyn Monroe and her status as an icon. And in Killing Them Softly, he deliberately juxtaposes the presidential candidates' speeches, which are constantly shown on television screens, with the criminal plot of the actual movie, to make a case that these two worlds, these two sides of the American coin, are in fact connected, that there are striking similarities between the legit world of people who work for a living and the criminal element who prefer violence and illegal activities to earn their buck. In fact, Dominik even goes a step further in the final scene of the film when he has Jackie cynically disagree with Obama's speeches and posit that America is not a country, it's a business, that it's every man for himself, that there is no community, no shared spirit, whether it be in the criminal world or in the legit one. And you know, he's got a point. It's kind of hard to look at modern America and seriously disagree with that. Secondly, on the points of my defense of the movie's cynicism, when it comes to considering the movie offensive, I can see that it has characters that are despicable and nasty and lack humanity, but the fact that the movie is populated with them doesn't mean that they're an example for us to follow. In fact, I read that as quite the opposite. Most of the people in the film are in some way pathetic or disgraceful. You have the assassin who drinks his days away in a hotel room, banging prostitutes left and right. You have the junkie that wants to become a successful drug dealer, but he is so high off his boots all the time, he doesn't even know what's going on around him. You have the naive young robber who thinks he'll be able to escape the consequences of his actions. Even the unseen higher-ups of the criminal element seem to be paralyzed by indecision, hesitant to enforce their rule, and even cheap when paying their people for the dirty work. The only person in the entire film that has a grip is Jackie, and that's ironic because in some ways he is the largest sociopath of them all. He has no qualms with murdering people, he talks about people like they're things, and yet he is smart and he is correct in reading the situation most of the time for what it is. And that realization, which sets in at the end, that the cynical bastards can be absolutely correct when it comes to the face of America, is I think the final point that the movie makes. It's depressing and sad when it sets in, but the movie does make a point. I liked it. I think it has an interesting structure and it has something to say and says it quite well. Solid film.